Hello everyone and welcome to another Everton show. Well, what a week that was. On last week's programme we previewed the FA Cup quarter-final with Chelsea at Goodison Park, and didn't it go every bit as well as we wanted it to? Two great goals, one of which was quite sensational, a 2-0 passage to Wembley and a red card for Diego Costa. Now that's what you call a decent day. Ian Snowden, what an afternoon.
Fantastic. I think I've only just took the smile off my face, Daz, for a full week. It was great, two great goals. Weren't the best of games, but as an Evertonian, the atmosphere, just the win was sensational.
And back to Wembley.
Back to Wembley. For the thousands of Evertonians, that's the place they love to be.
What an afternoon it was. There's so much to look forward to in the coming weeks for Evertonians, and we've got loads to look forward to on this week's Everton show as well.
I'm happy to go to Wembley, first of all. I'm happy for the team, for the win, for the club. Something that we all wanted, you know. We got close like many times, and now we're even closer. We're 90 minutes away.
Wembley, here we come, people! Hello, we're back at Wembley! We're going to win this time, and I don't care who we get. We are the best!
What am I to say? You know? I bought into a great club. I felt it today. Yeah, it is a great club.
It's important to give people like Sean a boost, and I'm sure putting one through Stones' legs will have done that for him. It's something he can remember and tell his mates about.
I'm looking forward to performing at Goodison Park immensely. I mean, we're big football fans, and I didn't use the word soccer.
Well, it was most definitely a night to remember at Goodison Park, wasn't it? And the platform for that 2-0 victory was a solid defensive display. Another clean sheet for Joel Robles, a return to the side for Leighton Baines, and all expertly marshalled by the skipper. And we collared Phil Jagielka straight after the final whistle.
Yeah, obviously we went thinking about Wembley. We wanted to get in the cup hat for the next round, and we played pretty well. Didn't really force too many chances first half, but played well and knew we had to come at them. And thankfully, you know, two great individual finishes from Rom and an all-round good team performance.
Rom, the man for the big occasion again.
Yeah, it's fantastic for him. He scored lots of goals this season, and you know it's hard sometimes there on his own. But today he proved that keeps going, and two fantastic finishes.
How much does it mean for the players to give the fans a day out at Wembley?
Yeah, well, we could sense the atmosphere tonight. The fans were immense from the well, even the warm up. You know, you could tell they came here a little bit earlier, and you could see the anticipation and the excitement. So thankfully we put on a pretty decent performance to give them something to shout about, and they didn't let us down.
Is that the belief growing that we can go all the way now?
Well, obviously we can go one more stage. We need to see what the draw's like, but we're playing well in patches, and it's nice today that we played for longer, should I say.
Well, despite his incredible goal-scoring record since joining Everton, Romelu Lukaku still hadn't managed to find a way past his former club, until, that is, the 77th minute of last weekend's game, and what a goal it was. The big man picked the ball up at the top of Spello Lane, he dribbled it past the Winslow, he took on the entire Chelsea team and the coaching staff before sliding the ball into the net. Not quite, of course, but that's how it seemed at the time, as the roof nearly came off Goodison Park. Typically, Romelu Lukaku took it all in his stride.
I'm happy to go to Wembley, first of all. I'm happy for the team, for the win, for the club. Something that we all wanted, you know. We got close like many times, and now we're even closer. We're 90 minutes away. So for the like 180 minutes away from our glory. So very happy for the team.
What was going through your mind when you picked up the ball out left for the first goal? Were you always thinking run straight at goal, or?
Yeah, just go and score. I'm a striker. I want to score goals and I want to help the team win. So that was the only thing that I was thinking.
How important were the fans today?
Oh, really important. You know, I mean, wow. Like I said, it was the best night that I had in the stadium since I arrived at the club.
Hopefully 180 minutes to go in this competition, as you said. But how much belief is there among the players that we can go all the way?
A lot of belief. You know, it's all down to us. You know we are a good team. We know that if you have a good day, that it's really tough to beat us, because offensively we're good and we have good defenders. So it's up to us. We have to be concentrated for 90 minutes and, you know, do the job.
You said in the build-up to the game that you wanted to play club football at Wembley. You played a little bit there for Belgium, but so how much will this mean to you in next month when we go down there?
It's different, you know. For Belgium, it was like I played 50 minutes, but it was a nice experience because that was the start of the new era for the Belgium team. But now for play with my teammates in front of my whole family at Wembley, the biggest venue for football, it's going to be good there.
Snoz, no two ways about it. The first goal was an astonishing goal.
Yeah, just let me put something right, Daz. I said just as we come on that it weren't a great game. It weren't a great game for the neutrals. It were a fantastic game if you're an Evertonian. So that's what I did mean. But the first goal was absolutely fantastic. I seen him on the Tuesday before in the gym doing a bit of work on his own, and I just said to him, forget the penalty, Ron, that's gone. Go and do it now against Chelsea for us. I says, and if you pick a ball deep on the left-hand side, I says, don't wait for any support. Don't wait to lay it off. If there's 4 defenders round you, just take them all on, get in the box, and then just calmly slot it in with your left foot. And he listened to me, the big fella. He really did. But what a goal! Absolutely brilliant.
He does say that he studies the big strikers, doesn't he?
He did. Do you know what? I've never been that far up in a pitch at Goodison Park anyway. But no, it was a great finish, and we thoroughly enjoyed our commentary, Daz, over the 2 goals.
Didn't we just? And I'll tell you what, let's have a little listen to that commentary now. This is myself and Ian Snowden at Goodison Park on Saturday with 77 minutes on the clock.
Great run by Lukaku. What a run by Lukaku. He's still going. Yes! Yes! What a goal! What a goal by Romelu Lukaku! It's not the goal of the season. It's the goal of the decade. And Romelu Lukaku has scored for Everton. And it is a fantastic goal. It's an unbelievable goal. Oh my word.
Oh, what a goal!
I've never seen a goal like that in my life.
And Darren Griffiths kisses me. And I kiss Darren Griffiths. There's a lot of loving going on inside this ground. What a goal by big Romelu Lukaku.
There's no 2 ways about it. We did lose it, didn't we?
Oh, we lost it completely. I tell you what. I know, looking at all the crowd, they lost it, but me and you, I thought we did well not to swear. We did fantastically well, Daz, but it was just a sensational goal.
It was one of those I was there moments. Now, Roberto Martinez, of course, can prepare a team for a Wembley FA Cup semi-final for the 2nd time in 4 seasons. The boss was a very proud man after watching his players pass the Chelsea challenge at Goodison Park.
Well, I think it was a really close game. I think it was a tactical affair. So both teams, we matched each other very well. The technical aspect of the game was very of the highest quality, but not many chances. And it was later on when you needed something of real magic. Normally you get these games decided in a dead ball situation or a mistake, and it's a real shame. I thought today was fitting to have that quality in that goal. Everything about the goal is one of the best goals in the FA Cup, and probably one of the best goals that will keep in our memories. I thought the atmosphere was electrifying, and he needed a piece of magic like that. The technical quality of that goal is as good as it gets, and he gives us a memory for every Evertonian to treasure.
What did you make of the incident that saw Diego Costa sent off, the coming together with Gareth Bale, a clash of heads? Was there anything more? What's been said?
Well, I think it was an emotional game. You can imagine both teams, we were desperate to perform well and to win the game, and I think that's what you want to see. I thought it was the right decision. It was a sending off that it was deserved, in the same way that we cannot have any complaints with the 2 yellow cards on Gareth Barry, and all in all, I thought the referee managed the game extremely well. It's difficult that you can impose yourself as a referee too much in these sort of games and stop the fluency of the match, and he didn't do that, and I think he got the big decisions absolutely right.
How much are you looking forward to walking out at Wembley and seeing those tens of thousands of Evertonians in the stadium?
Well, we already seen incredible atmospheres away from home in the Europa League, and the away support has been terrific in the domestic competitions. We had our lessons in the semi-final of the League Cup, and we wanted to take our football club to Wembley. Is a satisfying moment. We all look forward to it. We need to be ourselves, enjoying our time. As Everton, we should be at Wembley in a consistent basis, and we're really looking forward to be a proud day for everyone.
Snods, the sending off of Diego Costa had no effect on the outcome of the game, but you called it right early on. That boy was never going to last 90 minutes, was he?
No, it didn't affect the game. It really didn't, because I thought we were the better side anyway. We had the more chances. He did have a chance that we thought were going in, Daz, but I just think it must be so frustrating for the Chelsea fans, the coaching staff. He just doesn't learn. You knew when he got his first booking, you thought if anybody just winds him up, has a little word in his ear, he's liable to kick off and he's liable to get another booking. And he certainly did that, and he made Gareth Barry's job really easy to get. Don't blame Gareth for getting him sent off. He got himself sent off.
Gareth was cute, wasn't he?
Very.
He knew what was going to happen. Well, we've already mentioned the atmosphere at Goodison Park last Saturday. Before the game, it was electric. From the first whistle, it was bouncing. And as for after the game, well, what do you think?
Guys, we're going to Wembley. How's that feel? Brilliant! Wembley! What do we think about Romelu Lukaku? Fantastic! Brilliant! Absolutely fantastic!
Wembley, here we come, people! Hello, we're back at Wembley! We're gonna win this time, and I don't care who we get. We are the best! On you Blues!
London will be a sea of blue, without a doubt. Can't wait. Hope we can get tickets.
Can you tell me more? I'm going to Wembley.
They do like a cup victory, don't they, the Toffees? And that's it for part one this week. We're not quite done with the FA Cup just yet, though, and why should we be? After the break, we'll hear from the chairman, Bill Kenwright, and our new investor, Farhad Moshiri. Not to be missed. Welcome back. Now, the icing on the cake, of course, last weekend was the fact that it was a first visit to Goodison Park as a member of the Everton family for Farhad Moshiri. Mr Moshiri took his seat in the director's box alongside Bill Kenwright, and he must have enjoyed an incredible occasion every bit as much as we did. It was a very, very happy pair who took time out to speak to Everton TV after the game.
What am I to say? You know, I bought into a great club. I felt it today.
Yeah,
it is a great club.
The atmosphere before the game, that was special, but even before a ball was kicked.
Just magnificent, but everything I promised him. Correct?
It is. Yeah.
Wembley?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we just enjoy the day, and let's hope we can energize the club.
I think we have got to acknowledge Rom's goal, though, because it was an unbelievable goal, wasn't it? I mean, you know, half of the stadium, 3/4 of the stadium was saying, pass it, and I mean the strength of the man, but I thought his second goal was great too, you know. So I thought they were all great today. I thought Aaron Lennon up and down that wing, and James McCarthy. I thought they were fantastic today. You know what I thought though today? What a manager! That's what I thought. I thought, you know, you can't hide the fact that, you know, there's been odd kind of criticism this week, and he's just stood firm, and he's just beaten Chelsea with some to spare. And for me, I have to say, to have Farhad next to me is like, I met him 18 months ago, and you know, it's been a period where there have been quite a lot of people talking about taking over Premier League clubs. And I've thought since November 2014, come to me, come back to me, come to me. And eventually, well, not eventually, really, we never really...
I think you can never take over a club. You can be part of a club. And I think that's what I'm hoping, to become part of a club.
You mentioned in the programme about how special the club Everton was. How nice was it to feel that special feeling today?
Yes, I think, you know, for me, I bought into a new family. I think that's what's special for me. And I give them whatever I have.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a perfect sense of timing, Snods. Mr Moshiri and Bill back in his usual seat as well for a great game.
Yeah, it was. Great to see them both. Not only the new investor, Mr Moshiri, but the chairman as well, who's not been, he's documented he's not been very well. He hasn't been to as many games as he'd love to be, because he never likes missing a game. So it was great to see the pair of them there, and what a great performance the boys put on for him. And he must have thought, Mr Moshiri, wow, what a club I've joined.
Bill knows his onions when he's talking about football, but I love listening to him after a big game like that, because he hates picking a man of the match, doesn't he? Just in case he offends one of the other lads.
Yeah, he does. He picks, I know when we're doing commentary, Daz, you narrow it down to probably 3. The chairman narrows it down to about 11. And if a sub comes on, he gives him a mention as well. So, yeah, he just loves all the players. He loves the club in general, full stop. And he's very passionate. And hopefully, Mr Moshiri, I liked his line about him joining the club. and not taking over a club.
I wonder what he made of the atmosphere, because there were times during the commentary when you and I just stopped.
Oh, you could sense it, you could see it. It was absolutely bouncing, and I think there were about half a dozen times, Daz, during that last 12 minutes when we took our headphones off about 6 times. It was. That's how Goodison should be.
You can talk till you're blue in the face, literally, about Everton Football Club, but Mr. Mashiri saw firsthand just what we're all about.
He did. Great performance, 2 great goals, but what a family club and what an atmosphere we can generate in Goodison Park.
The new era got off to a splendid start, that's for sure. Right, let's move on to off-the-field matters for a bit now on this week's Everton show. And the news recently that all season ticket prices are being either reduced or frozen for 2016-17 was very well received by all Evertonians, and quite rightly so. The season tickets for next season go on sale this Monday, and to launch the campaign we invited Phil Jagielka and Graham Sharp to join a host of supporters at the Fact Cinema in Liverpool City Centre earlier this week for a special video screening.
Well, I was lucky enough to be invited to the screening of the 2016-17 season ticket launch campaign, and you know, I've had a little sneak preview of what's going to be out there, and really happy to join a few fans that have taken part, starred in the actual video itself, and listened to a few stories from Sharpie as well. So it's been an interesting night so far.
The film was good. I thought the people who were in the film explained their love and passion for Everton Football Club and what it meant to them. You know, some great memories from the early 60s all the way through. So it was very, 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 very interesting, and I'm sure it'll be a success.
Yeah, it's nice to see it all come together. 8 hours of footage to be crammed into that, you know, that small video for all of those different people. It was nice. It was special. It's nice for us to be involved in it. And just create memories really for my children and grandchildren. It's nice.
I think when they originally spoke to me, what they said very quickly was we really liked the story about it being all about you and your dad, and I think my dad was quite emotional actually when he saw the finished product today.
It was very emotional, obviously listening to some of the things that Natalie had to say about our experiences together at Everton Football Club. As my father said to me many years ago, you don't become an Evertonian, you're born one, and we've both been lucky that we were born one.
I'm told that I was at the cup final against Liverpool in my mother's womb, so I suppose I've been an Evertonian even before I was born. So I've never known anything different, so I couldn't explain. I couldn't put it into words.
You know, we did fantastic. We get a good amount of season ticket holders already. Obviously, we want to keep them. We want to get as many as we can. We try and do our best, both on and off the pitch on a match day, and we pride ourselves on that. And you say the football is the main reason why people come to watch Everton, but it's not the only reason.
The people behind the scenes at the club, Snods, do a fantastic job with this type of thing, and that's another superb, emotional piece of film.
It is a great bit of film, to be honest, and it just shows what we're all about. We are a family club, and I can tell that when I'm in fan zone and I see the kids there with the parents, and it's fantastic. You're on that stage, you look down and you see them young kids with either the mum, the dad, or even the pair of them, and that's what it's about as well, getting the younger generation here and remaining an Everton family football club.
And everybody at the club works so hard, yourself and Diamond and Sharpie especially, to make sure that it's not just about 90 minutes, it's a day, it's an event, isn't it?
No, we've got a fantastic role at Everton Football Club. We're labelled ambassadors, and it's great to get out in the public every day probably, and go and spread that family love that Everton's all about.
We are a family club, no doubt about that. And if you want to watch that video in full, by the way, and why wouldn't you, just head over to evertonfc.com after this show. Wait till the end of the show. One of the biggest charitable events in the annual calendar is the BBC Sport Relief Initiative. Sports people and celebrities alike put themselves out there to help raise money and awareness for needy causes. And of course, it goes without saying that Everton Football Club was very much involved again this year. John Stones and Tom Cleverley visited St Lawrence Primary School in Kirkby recently, and they had a lot of fun.
Like to say to them coming to our school? Twin Vision is an educational media charity, and it was set up by twin brothers Paul and Gary McCann. And so for this project, kindly supported by Sport Relief, we've been able to work with children and young people who are bereaved so that they can positively remember their loved one through animation. And in specifically for Sean, this was about going to the match with his dad and playing football.
It's important that we do stuff like this for kids like Sean, who have obviously had a tough couple of years. He used to go to the football all the time with his dad, and sadly he passed away. So I think it's special that we do things like this and give him some things to talk to his mates about and enjoy himself.
When his dad died, he went very withdrawn and quiet and wouldn't speak. And then he did this project. It was a 10-week project. After that, Sean started talking to me every single day and every single night about his dad. We'd laugh, we'd cry, you know, but it helped him immensely, really did. It gave me back a little bit of the boy. I mean, he's still not, you know, he'll never be the same child, I don't think, you know, but it brought back a little bit of the boy that I had before.
They were shocked at first of all, but they weren't hesitating to kick us in the match, so it was good fun, and hopefully they enjoyed it too. It's important to give people like Sean a boost, and I'm sure putting one through Stones' legs will have done that for him. It's something he can remember and tell his mates about, and like I said, it's important that professional footballers who are in lucky situations do it to people in not so lucky situations. I mean, it's a fantastic job they do. The numbers that they raise seem to be getting bigger and bigger every year, and they massively have an effect on people's lives. So it's important, it's good fun, and put smiles on people's faces, which is the most important thing.
Snods, you just said yourself, Everton is more than a football club, it's a family club, and again, that sums it up.
Yeah, you can see in that film that all the kids enjoyed it, and in particular Sean, and his mum said he'd come out of his shell a little bit, and the boys turned up, which none of our players argue anything about doing things in the community. They're always there when asked to do something, and you could see, I think at first, Cleverley and Stonesy were more nervous than the kids, to be honest, and hey, Sean, not many kids not make John Stones. Not many players not make John Stones. So well done, Sean.
You've done a few community visits with the players. They love it, don't they?
Oh, it's great. I love going out there with the lads, and the lads enjoy it.
He represents Everton Football Club so well, and so do the ambassadors, of course. Well, we've reached half-time in this week's programme, and after the break we'll have a touch of nostalgia. Our big interview guest this week is Gary Jones, a winger who illuminated many an afternoon at Goodison Park in the 1970s. He's a great lad, is Gary, and as you'll see after these adverts, he's a bit of a character too. Welcome to the big interview section of the Everton show. Now, people of my generation will well remember a winger called Gary Jones. He came through the Belfield ranks to play 98 games for the first team. Now, as was the trend for wingers in the 1970s, he was a bit of a maverick, and he still is. Perhaps that's to do with the way he got his foot in the door at Everton Football Club.
It was quite different from what normally happens. I wrote in for the trial. I wasn't found through schoolboys or anything. I wasn't considered good enough at the time when I had trials for Liverpool schoolboys. So I decided to write in to Everton Football Club, and I got a reply off them. And I went down and had a trial game, and I was actually in the same trial game as Mike Lyons. Mike at that time was playing centre forward, and I was on the left wing. And it just so happened that we both played particularly well, or we must have done during that game. And Harry Cook was the chief scout then, and he invited us back. And they decided to sign us on as amateurs then, in them days, which meant when we were working on a Tuesday night and a Thursday night, we'd leave work and we'd go to Belfield and do a couple of hours training, which was fantastic. But then when we got to 17, they had to make a decision to sign us pro, or you know, we'd have to leave. And fortunate enough, we both signed pro. And so that's how I started, really.
Obviously, you first went into the dressing room there as a pro, amongst the likes of Colin Harvey, Alan Ball, Joe Royle, and Brian LeBone. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was fantastic because I always remember my first day going in and into Belfield, and I seen Alec Young jogging around the outside of the perimeter of the pitch, and I just couldn't believe how my life was changing, seeing the great Alex Young. And of course, as you say, people like Colin Harvey, Alan Ball, Brian LeBone, Gordon West, you know, the list goes on. To be sitting or working with them was just amazing. I couldn't wait to get back on the bus and go and tell my mum, you know, what I'd seen. It's fantastic.
Obviously, great players, but how did they welcome you into the dressing room?
Oh, they were fantastic. Brian LeBone was fabulous. I didn't meet my father till I was 36, so Brian LeBone was like a father to me. He was always advising me what to do and what not to do. Colin Harvey, you know, who we still see now, Howard, just great pros and looked after you. It was fantastic.
You're a winger in your time, obviously a plethora of wingers in today's squad. How do you think the role of a winger has changed nowadays?
Well, I don't think it's changed that much. I think, you know, as a winger, you know, your main objective, obviously, is to go by people and create and score goals. And also, you know, you've got to fill in certain gaps. I know some wingers are not great tacklers, but you don't necessarily have to be. You can get yourself into position to deter the ball from going to certain players in the opposing team. And I think Everton have got players like Lennon, Morales, and the Spanish boy. And I think probably the reason why Lennon is in the team now is because he appears to be working harder, with all due respect to the other two, when we haven't got the ball. And when he has the ball, he's being very positive and going past people. But when he hasn't got the ball, he's filling in and working very hard. And I think that's why he's probably in the team at the moment ahead of the other two.
Have you enjoyed the style of football Roberto's brought since he came here?
Yeah, I love watching them play. I think sometimes you can overplay. You know, we're not Barcelona. I don't think we're ever going to be Barcelona. Who's going to be Barcelona? But no, I love the football. They're all lovely footballers. They all work hard for each other. But I think sometimes you can overplay. I think there's times when you've got to dig in and stuff, and I don't think we do that enough sometimes. You know.
An FA Cup semi-final and a trip to Wembley to look forward to as well. How much will the players be looking forward to that one?
Well, you know, going to Wembley, wow. I mean, it never happened to me. I would imagine they're all so excited, and I think they've got a great chance this year. Manchester United, West Ham, Crystal Palace, Watford. Nothing scares us there with them four. United are not doing any great shakes. I know they've got a lot of injuries, and we can beat anyone on the day. And I'm sure Everton will have a lot of confidence going into the next game, whether it be United or West Ham, and I think they've got a great chance of winning it this year. I really do.
A great night for the quarter-final here at Goodison. You spent several years here as a player. What were your favourite moments at Goodison?
Well, I think when you score goals, I remember scoring 2 against Aston Villa here. We beat them, I think, 2-1, and I think I was being marked that day by a friend of mine, actually, John Gidman, who I still bump into now and again. So that was something I remember against Villa. And it just so happened that my first daughter was born around that time, and she's 41 now. So
90 appearances and 15 goals later, you joined Birmingham City. How difficult a move was that for you to make?
Well, it was extremely difficult because I didn't want to move, full stop. I went in and asked for a rise, basically, and you know, I don't want to say on camera what I was asking for, but it wasn't a lot of money, let's put it that way, in real terms. And they wouldn't give me what I wanted, and I was married, and at that particular point I had 2 children, and I felt it was in the best interest of myself to move, to look after myself financially and my family. I didn't want to go to Birmingham, I didn't want to go anywhere really, but anyway, I went to Birmingham, it served its purpose, and then I wasn't there long. I was only there about 18 months, and I got a really bad knee injury, which I didn't think I would recover from, but fortunately I did, and I was able to move from there then to Fort Lauderdale in Florida.
You mentioned that you moved to America. It seems the fashionable thing to do nowadays. How was it for you back then?
It was, well, when the agent said to me, you know, with regards to Fort Lauderdale, I'd really hadn't heard of it before. So when he told me what it was like, and then I'd made inquiries, it didn't take me long to decide to go there. And of course, when I was there, I was playing with George Best, Gerd Muller, Gordon Banks, Ian Callaghan. Callie had come over. He was staying in the same apartments as me with his wife, Lynn, at the time. And our children played together. I had a great time in America. It was fabulous travelling to all over the States. I think I've been to about 36 states in America out of the 51 or 52 states. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. A couple of years there, and that was brilliant.
How different was it over there to it is over on Merseyside?
Well, the support is totally different. You know, I mean, you don't get the crowds. I mean, I suppose now they do, similar to what they get here. But I think our stadium, Lockhart Stadium, I think it held about 15,000, and it was full all the time. And then, of course, you've got the problem of playing on AstroTurf as well, in certain stadiums, wherever you go to. So you have to adapt to that as well. But I know some managers have said in the past, you know, like QPR, but I've always said if you can play, you can play. It doesn't matter, you know, if it's a bog, you know, if you can play, you can play, and just get on with it.
After that adventure finished, you obviously came back to Merseyside and you had a pub in Lark Lane. Was that a nice way to keep in touch with people? Yeah. I went into the pub business, which basically a lot of ex-footballers did at that time, because, you know, the money wasn't in the game then as it is now. So I had a pub for 15 years. I had the Albert in Lark Lane for about 10 years. And then I moved up to Tommy Smith's old pub in Billinge. And then I moved up to Oxfordshire. I had a pub in Oxfordshire in a place called Kidlington for a number of years. And it was different. It was different, let's say. But I've always been a sociable guy anyway, so it suited my personality.
That's Gary Jones there, the big interview, winger in the 1970s. You know Jonesy, don't you, Snods?
Yeah, I do. I can't remember him obviously playing as much for Everton, but since I came to the club, you have former players reunions, etc. And Gazza's always there, and he's always good company as well. He does like a pint, and he's good socially, and he's got some good stories, and yeah, I quite like Gary.
Bit of a maverick figure, as I said before, that piece of film. But they tended to be in the 70s, didn't they? Your Gordon Hills, your Leighton James, people like that.
Yeah, and hey, they must be good players, because the surfaces that they had to play on as well were nothing like they play on today. So the control and the ability to go by players and get balls into the box to provide for the centre forward, they had to be good players in them days.
I remember when you went to right back for Everton and done well enough to be called up by England. And you were up against some good wingers in those days, weren't you? Who gave you the most trouble?
Yeah, John Barnes. I don't like saying any Liverpool player, but yeah, Barnes, he was a quality player. And on a couple of occasions, yeah, he beat me a couple of times, far too easy. Another one who stood out for me as well, Tottenham winger, played for Sheffield Wednesday, was Chris Waddle. I thought he was a terrific player. Not really pacey, couldn't go by you with pace, but he just had a tendency to like run up to you slowly and quickly drop his shoulder, and then he'd move the ball quickly. So yeah, them two in particular. But of our wingers, I wouldn't like to play against our two wingers either, Jerry Delafeu, Kevin Morales and Darren Lennon. They've all got a bit of something different, and I wouldn't like to face them three.
You mentioned John Barnes there, which leads us to Liverpool Football Club. And just before we take another break, Snods, what's your call on the Merseyside derby being so close to the FA Cup semi-final?
I had a feeling you're going to ask me this one, Daz, and I know there'll be a lot of fans out there listening who will want to play a full... I want to be greedy. I want to beat Liverpool, and I want to win the FA Cup semi-final. But 3 or 4 days before the semi-final, do we rest our key players? Do we rest Big Rom, who's pivotal? Do we rest Phil Jagielka, etc.? So I don't think I'm going to win, but I would like to suggest that we might rest 1 or 2 players for that Liverpool derby game.
Imagine the Everton show the week after if we win them both.
Oh.
Beat Liverpool at Anfield, win the FA Cup semi-final. The slippers will be out, the cigars will be out. That's us for part 3 of this week's programme, but there's still plenty to cram into the final segment. We look ahead to the weekend visit of Arsenal with Roberto Martinez. We'll bring you an exclusive chat with the Player of the Month, and we'll hear from one of the drifters. And I do mean the actual drifters, Saturday night at the movies and all that. It's the Everton show. What do you expect? Save the Last Dance for me, like sister and brother. Up on the roof, Saturday night at the movies. We've all got our own favourite Drifters track, haven't we? And any fans of the soul-singing legends will be interested to know that the Drifters will be performing on the pitch at half-time on Saturday. Michael Williams is a band member, and he can't wait.
I'm looking forward to performing at Goodison Park immensely. I mean, we're big football fans, and I didn't use the word soccer. Football fans, and so we're looking forward to it.
Great interest among the band in the sport then?
Oh, definitely, definitely. We got a couple of, dare I say it, Manchester United fans, and we got an Arsenal fan, and we got one drifter that's never been to a football match before. So, so we're going to school him on how the game is played.
And you'll be honorary toffees on the game. You'll be performing in front of 40,000 people.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. That will be absolutely fantastic. Just going to Goodison Park and being able to perform to the fans and you know, feel that atmosphere and that vibe from a football club like Everton is fantastic.
It will be our junior fan day, and we're going to have a lot of the young fans involved in certain roles. We've done it for a number of years now, but a couple of them will be joining yourselves. That'll be quite fun, won't it?
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. It's always good for the kids and fans to kind of be involved in anything like this. And the Drifters have always done, you know, things like this with fans and kids, and everyone to get involved is a great thing.
And you'll be looking forward to watching the game after you perform?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not going to tell you who's going to win though, but I know the score already.
I've already named a few tracks there, Snods. Which is your favourite? What's your favourite Drifters number?
Saturday Night at the Movies, You Cannot Beat It. And I've sang it many a time on many occasions, but I ain't singing it on here, by the way.
We sang it on the radio show.
We did sing it, we did sing it on the radio show, but Daz, we were out of the way then. The viewers can see us here. I am not singing it, but Saturday Night at the Movies all day long for me.
I'll tell you what, though, it takes half-time entertainment to a new level, doesn't it? I never ever thought I'd go to an Everton game and at half-time I'd see the Drifters.
Do you know what, Daz? I usually have 3 pies at half-time in the media room, but I'm going to relinquish that. I'm just going to have the one and nip out and see them, to be quite honest. I believe they're going to be singing 2 songs. Don't know what 2 they're singing, but I'm going to have a listen to them.
Snods, we've got a mini Drifters as well, because it's Junior Supporters Day when we bring all the kids in. We've got mini Drifters, mini groundsman, mini stadium announcer. We've even got a mini Jimmy Martin. It's good fun, isn't it?
Do you know what, Daz? I did the tour the other night, and they were all there. They were having a look round Goodison Park, and yeah, it was great to see. They've even got a mini Jimmy Martin kit manager. God help him. I hope he smiles a bit more than the original Jimmy Martin, put it that way.
He must be. He can't be as cantankerous as the real Jimmy Martin, surely. Well, Junior Fan Day is going to be great. It's well worth checking out all the activity on the website. That's evertonfc.com, of course. Well, there have been many, many positives to emerge from Goodison Park in recent weeks, and certainly not least among them is the form of Aaron Lennon. He's been terrific lately, and he was a thoroughly deserved winner at the club's official February Player of the Month, which is where we caught up with him.
Right from the off, we was right at it, and was in Chelsea's faces, and the lads were brilliant, and what a result.
Let's get it right. They put out a strong side, didn't they? They went for it.
Oh, 100%. Like I said, they had the strongest side out possible, I think, and you could see they wanted to win it, but I think we wanted it a bit more, and like I said, won 2 brilliant goals, and like I said, it was a great feeling for everyone.
There's some fantastic photographs flying around of the celebrations, and the look on some faces, including your own, is a bit of disbelief. The first goal came from nowhere.
Yeah, it was brilliant. As soon as he picked it up, he drove inside. I was just looking to try and get in the box for a tap-in, but big run out of uplands, and like I said, it's up there, one of the best goals of the season by far, and like I said, such an important goal for us.
When you have a result like that against a team like that, you start to think maybe your name's on the cup. We don't like saying that, but there's nobody we'd particularly want to avoid at this stage now, is there?
No, definitely. Like I said, I think teams will want to avoid us, to be honest. We don't fear any team, and we know on our day that we can beat anyone.
How important is it, Alan, to take this form into the next Premier League game against Arsenal?
It's massive now. It's a big incentive for us to kick on now. I think the final 11 games to go, and we want to get right up there. where we belong, and it's massive for us to now kick on to the end of the season.
Arsenal at Goodison Park, it'll be packed again. It's another one to look forward to, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a great game. There's still a lot to play for us and for them. And like I said, they'll be coming there after a disappointing result for them, looking to come and beat us, but we'll be ready for them.
And you'll get your normal warm reception off the Arsenal fans, I'm sure.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Yeah, they'll be on my case from the beginning, but yeah, I look forward to it.
There's still so much to play for in the Premier League, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. There's still so many points to be played for, and like I said, I think we're sat in 12th now, but we know we can, if we kick on and have a good run now, we know we can push right up there.
Snods, you're on the Player of the Month panel, and for February, Aaron Lennon was a clear winner.
Yeah, he was outstanding. It was so funny as well, Daz, because remember when he did sign, everybody was saying, he don't look as though he wants to be here. He never smiled. And when he came into the room at the Hilton and he'd won his award, even somebody shouted out, "Smile, Aaron." And he brought a smile to his face, but he's certainly smiling now because he's enjoying his football, he's enjoying his time at Everton Football Club, and he's an important part of our team right now as well.
He hasn't been named in the England squad that Roy Hodgson announced earlier this week, but he shouldn't give up on going to France, because if he sustains this quality, this form, he must be worth a look.
Definitely so, because Roy Hodgson should be looking at players in form, going up to the Euros, and Aaron's certainly one of them. He's keeping a quality player out in Jerry Delafeu for a start, that is a fan's favourite, and to be keeping him out, he must be playing well. So his form at the minute is terrific.
He's been outstanding for us off the field as well, Aaron, and those early photographs really didn't do him justice. He laughs about it now, but he's done everything we've asked of him.
Yeah, and it's great that he has. And you're right, a lot of people were saying, he doesn't seem that happy that he's here. We've spoke to him, Daz. He is happy here. He is loving his football at Everton, and it's proving in his performances.
And he looks like an Everton player, which he took as a massive compliment. Right, let's hear again from the gaffer before we wrap things up this week. Everton will play Manchester United or West Ham United at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final. And there's also the small matter of the Gunners at Goodison this weekend in the Premier League. So there's plenty for Roberto to discuss.
I think it's probably the only draw that you don't pay too much attention, because it's reaching Wembley. That means that whoever you're going to be facing, they are there on merit, and they are there because they become a winning team in one way or another. They are strong in what they do. So the draw is welcome. I think it's important for us if we could play on Sunday. It would fit in our arrangements, but it's a day to enjoy. We need to be Everton at our very, very best, and giving our colour around Wembley and making it as comfortable for our players as we can. I think it's just taking all the good feelings that we had in the experiences going around Europe will help us immensely. Is to get into the semi-final of the League Cup and the semi-final of the FA Cup. I think it shows you that we've taken those good opportunities to learn from each other and to learn from a cup trophy in a great way, and now we just want the fans to enjoy the day out to Wembley and make sure that we can perform as well as we can.
And clearly you'll be looking for something similar this Saturday as well, albeit it's an earlier kick-off, it's a lunchtime kick-off, and it isn't under the famous Goodison floodlights.
Well, I think we know the importance of this game. We were very deflated at the end of the West Ham game in an undeserved manner. I think the last 12 minutes of that game didn't represent what happened in the previous 78, and I think we need to get back into that victorious feeling or having a feeling of satisfaction. And clearly Arsenal, still a team that they're fighting for the title, a team that they're going to be facing the second leg against Barcelona during the week. They are one of the best teams in European football, but we're playing at home, we're playing at Goodison, and we want to make sure that we get what we deserve if we perform well.
Snods, Arsenal will be coming to Goodison at the weekend, surely, still thinking they can catch Leicester City, so it's going to be another tough one for us.
It is going to be a tough game, not only because they've got quality players, but they've gone out of the Champions League, and they've got really the league to go for. That's it, and it'll take a massive run of games for them to catch Leicester or Tottenham, whoever may be. But yeah, they'll have not given it up, and it will be one hell of a game at Goodison on Saturday.
When you look at the Arsenal squad, and Arsene Wenger knows his way around the Premier League, and they bought in Petr Cech, why aren't they going to win the league?
I don't know. I expected them to. Once they bought, you're right, they brought in Petr Cech. I thought they've got everything. I thought they have enough outfield quality players. I felt that they needed a quality keeper, and they certainly got one. I think it's a little bit unfair, but I don't know whether I should say it or not, but I think it's a little bit unfair, the criticism that the Arsenal fans are giving Arsene Wenger. I think he's been terrific for that football club, and I still think he's a good manager. So we've got to be on our top form, like we were against Chelsea, to overcome Arsenal on Saturday.
Romelu Lukaku looks as if he could score every single week at the moment, though, doesn't he?
He does, he really does, and he'll want to prove a point to Arsenal, a big club, big European club as well, and but he's an Everton player who loves scoring for Everton, and I want to see him again on Saturday, Daz, and I want to hear that commentary again off me and you.
Goodison Park will be rocking again, won't it, on Saturday? Quarter to one kick-off, don't forget. Well, what a packed and varied Everton show that was. Where else would you get all that Everton content in just one TV programme? We've really enjoyed putting it all together, and judging by the feedback, our efforts are being well received. Thanks very much from all of us to all of you for joining us once again this week. Thanks to Snods, as always, for his excellent input. We've got Wembley in our sights, Arsenal on the horizon, and we know that you have got Drifters songs in your heads. We'll see you next week.